Start telling your story.
It was at 29's. It was Mike Allen and myself. We were playing a trick on Nick Sharmello. Back then we had remotes for the remotes for all the TVs and cable boxes were the same. And one night, Mike and I snuck outside and went around to Nick Sharmello's, the captain's office, and sat outside, and through the blinds, we'd changed the channel on his TV. So, you know, he would get interested in something, and we'd change the channel or turn it off. And he kept looking and couldn't figure out what was going on. We did that about 5 or 6 times, and he left the room and went and talked to Steve Atkin. Asked him if he was having trouble with his TV. Steve said, "No, I'm not having any trouble with my TV." He says, "Well, mine keeps changing channels and shutting off on me." So he goes back into his room and sits down and starts watching TV again, and we flipping the channels for him and turning his TV off. And we did this for probably about an hour. And finally he goes back to Steve and he says, "Steve, are you sure you're not having any trouble with your TV?" He says, "No, I'm not having any trouble with my TV." He said, "Well, come in here and see what this thing is doing." So they come in there and we start shutting it off and changing channels for him. And we didn't know it at the time, but after it was all said and done, Steve had asked Nick, he says, "Well, have you seen Bill and Mike around anywhere? Are you sure they're in bed?" So they kind of snuck into the bunk room and found out that we wasn't there, and then locked us out of the station. That was pretty funny, because we did that for quite a while. Wish we hadn't stayed so long. We could have done that for days and gotten away with it.
That's funny.